beautiful specialty race, Father, for the top elite of each category. Thank you for the PDRA for coming up with this prestigious, Father, race. Father, now I just ask you to just bless each team, bless each person here on the real estate, Father. Keep us safe, Father. Thank you for the dynamic weather, not only in the weather, but in the track conditions, Father. Thank you for everything that's come together to pull off this race, Father. Now asking for clearer minds, straight trips, good numbers, safety, Father. I just pray for favor with ease of stop. Bless each person on the real estate. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Please remain standing for our national anthem. Man, thank you to the Jason Jewell 5 for that rendition of the national anthem. It was nothing short of spectacular, Tyler.
Breathtaking, got chills. Let me tell you something. You want me to tell you what gives you even more chills? 2 900+ cubic inch Pro Nitrous engines coming to life. It's Pro Nitrous, it's Pro Stars. There's $15,000 on the line, Scotty Gore.
And man, what a stellar opening round matchup we have here with Brian Schrader here on the left-hand side of the racetrack in the Pandemonium 2017 Corvette out of the Robert Hayes Motorsports. Tyler, who's on the right side?
Got Amber Denton, your alternate, coming in right here for a driver not making the field or not making the trip here to Virginia this weekend. The 22-year-old administrative assistant at Franklin Electric sits on the right-hand side as Brian Schrader is having trouble once again to get that car in reverse. Got to find the R for reverse. Found the R for race to get up to the staging lanes. Now he found it again. Had trouble the last run in testing to get it to fall into reverse. Now gets it to back up as well. Brian Schrader coming off a career best lap in testing.
That thing looked good.
Sits beside Amber Denton, who cannot overlook any of these runs. And let me tell you something, there's not one person that you're going to see from this point to the end of the night that you can overlook. This is the best of the best that the Redline Oil PDRA Drag Racing Series has to offer. And let me tell you right now, every driver here wants to go home with that Summit Racing Pro Stars trophy at the end of the night.
Not just for bragging rights, your wallet going to be a little thicker as well, as they are running for $15,000 here in Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous.
You are exactly right, Scotty. And what a first pair we got, Brian Schrader and Amber Denton. These two are going to go to work right here, like Scotty and I talked about before. You have 3 wind lights right here. All you need is 3. First one, probably the most nerves, as it always is. Your first pair out here after driver introductions and a little bit of a break on the racetrack. It's going to be Brian Schrader and Amber Denton. These two drivers know how to get it done in pressure situations. Who rises to the challenge here in round 4? They leave the starting line. Schrader reaction time has to move it all over the racetrack and turns on a wind light for Amber Denton. Schrader had to lift off the pedal, was side by side with Amber at the 330 cones, but was all over the center line. Amber didn't. 364.8 at 206 miles per hour. Turns on the first win light here in Pro Stars.
Yeah, and Tyler, you can watch it there on the flow replay. That Corvette just moved towards the center line. I mean, he was not far at all.
If you watch it back at home on FloRacing, you could see where the front tire sat down on the drone, and it was right at the 330 cone. What a first pair. Brian Schrader was probably about to turn on that win light. He was 0-10 letting go. Amber was 40. All he had to do was go 367.8 or quicker, and he would have won on a hole shot. Had to give up the ghost, and Amber Denton takes advantage of that and moves on.
You know, Tyler, if you're just tuning in at home, I think we forgot to mention that this was a chip draw. There was no qualifying. They got 2 test hits on the racetrack earlier today, and then we did a chip draw out in front of race control here, and that determined who you had to run first round.
Yep, so everything is random in your top 8, and whoever had the most points coming in got lane choice. These two, they were number 1 and number 3 coming in. So this is a big-time matchup with Freddie Scriber, your defending world champion, and Marcus Butner, a man on the right-hand side that is trying to get his first world championship this weekend. But right now, they both want Pro Stars glory.
And I couldn't agree with you more. Freddie Scriber, as you said, defending world champion. And this is kind of a marquee matchup right here because Marcus Butner is coming off of a hometown win at our last stop on tour, Galat Motorsports Park. So a lot of momentum riding over there on the right-hand side. Butner out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina for Butner Construction, Redline Oil, PST, a Pat Musey mill underneath the hood scoop. And Scribe, left-hand side, he hails from Millersville, Maryland. The Sorcerer, 1969 Camaro for Scribe Welding, another Pat Musey mill underneath the scoop of that machine.
Yeah, these two drivers right here have faced off many a times in their careers. They sit beside each other right here on the starting line. We just saw 2 drivers let go quicker than 040. Nerves weren't there on those two. Brian Schrader was up on the wheel and was the first one leaving the starting line. Every one of these races can be determined on the starting line. Like we've said, these are the best of the best in this category. And I can tell you right now, everybody wants all these win lights. There's only 3. It sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, how hard can it be, right?
Yeah. I love the format of this deal. This is so fun because it's like an old school quick 8 race. And, you know, hey, look, we're going to go up there, we're going to throw all our chips on the table for one night. We're going to try to get it done. Freddie Scribe and Marcus Butner, they're about to go all in right here in round number 1.
3-stage balls illuminate. Scribe is in, waiting on Butner to join the party. Here we go.
Freddie Scribe, reaction time advantage. Does he have enough to hold off Marcus Butner? And he does on a hole shot. 364.5 takes down the quicker but losing Marcus Butner. 362.9 as Freddie Scribe gets it done by 17 thousandths of a second. Scotty, we talked about it before the run.
Man.
This can all be decided on the starting line, and you just saw it right there with 2 absolute picture-perfect runs down the racetrack, and the win light shines in the Summit Racing Equipment left-hand side.
And Tyler, a 46 reaction time, not bad in the pro category, okay? You're going to win some rounds with that reaction time, but not when the guy next to you is 13 letting go.
Yep, Freddie Scribe is showing why he wears the number 1 from last season for defending world champion. As Buddy Perkinson kicks the LAT Racing Bull Chevrolet Camaro out sideways, and Tommy Franklin lights the hides in Jungle Rat 3.0 over on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Franklin out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. The Jungle Rat 3.0 for Redline Oil, Franklin Electric, SmartCom, Hoosier Tire, and Mincer Motorsports. Buddy Perkinson on the right-hand side out of North Prince George, Virginia, the local runner. The 69 Camaro for LAT Racing Oils and Brown Line Construction. 2 guys that are pretty good friends off the racetrack when they don't have the helmets on, but I can tell you, this is probably going to be a reaction time battle right here.
It is, and I think nothing gets Tommy Franklin up on the wheel more than sitting beside Buddy Perkinson. Why? I think because they are buddies, and I think they'll talk about it, and he knows that if he does get treed, oh boy.
Yeah, there's going to be a little smack talking, I'm sure. And Perkinson, a known leader, so we'll see what happens as they start to head towards the top bulb. A couple more purges of the nitrous system. Pat Musey horsepower across the board. You can see Popeye Pat standing out in the center of the racetrack. These two get ready to battle it out. And as Tyler said, $15,000 payday. Winner take all, just turn on 3 win lights.
Buddy Perkinson first to light the pre-stage bulb, and now here comes Tommy Franklin. Buddy Perkinson is double 0-1. Does he have enough to hold off Tommy Franklin? And he does it by 0.07 of a second. Tommy Franklin 0-15, 362.3, and needed every dang bit of it as Buddy Perkinson lays down his career best run, 364.4 and double 0-1, leaving the starting line, and it's not enough as Tommy Franklin gets the win by 0.07 of a second.
Double 0-1 to a 15. Are we announcing a bracket race here, bud?
This is wild. I told you, everybody wants these.
So our final pair in category, Dane Wood and John Vergatz. Vergatz on the right-hand side out of Erie, Pennsylvania, the A1 Auto Dark Knight 69 Camaro. And Dane Wood here, left-hand side of the racetrack, the Bay Concrete 2012 Mustang, the original U.S. mail for Affordable Trans, BHM Drag Racing, 3 Guns Customs, Purvis Ford, and 660 Race Car Technology. Dane Wood made a great pass out here in testing earlier this afternoon, but as he went through the finish line, a big huff of smoke out of that burgundy Mustang. Probably a lot of work had to be done in between that final test run and this first round here of eliminations in the Pro Stars. I would tell you who's going to match up with the winner of this event on the ladder, but there is no ladder. We're chip drawing this thing, so every round will go to a chip draw to see who you run next. But Dane Wood and John Vergatz going to battle it out here in the opening round of eliminations to see who's 1 win light closer.
Yeah, so what an exciting first 3 pairs. These two are going to round us out here in Pro Nitrous. Pro Boost sits at the ready line, and I can only imagine how good that's going to be. 9 thou separated advantage goes to Dane Wood. Win light goes John Vergatz. How about 12 thousandths of a second? Margin of victory 368.4. A big run for the Dark Knight Chevrolet and all smiles on the right-hand side of the racetrack starting line. Vergatz overcame a 9 thousandths advantage off the starting line, went side by side with Dane Wood. The U.S. Mail Ford Mustang mustered up at 370, but it was not enough to hold off John Vergatz. Vergatz will join the other 3 in the semifinals. And Scotty, bring it in, boys. Here we go, Pro Boost. Oh, my.
WS Construction Pro Boost presented by Tie Drive and P2 Contracting. And the P2 machine going to lead us off on the left-hand side of the racetrack, and Kurt Stedding. Stedding out of Carnegie, Pennsylvania, the 69 Camaro for YO Motorsports, Tie Drive, Redline Oil, and NGK Spark Plugs. But man, I like this matchup, Tyler. On the right-hand side of the racetrack, Melanie Salemi, the queen of Pro Mod, Purple Rain 68 G-Force built Firebird. Ali Installations, Resolution Racing Services, MSR Performance, Hoosier Tire, and Liberty's Gears on board her machine. And I tell you what, Tyler, when you talk about big matchups, I don't think they get much bigger than what's sitting on the start line.
How else would you start off the All-Star race with 2 of the All-Stars?
Dude, this is one mega matchup right here.
Yeah, for sure, man. This matchup right here, in my opinion, is the definition of what PDRA is and what we bring to the table with 2 of the absolute best, not only in Pro Boost, but in Pro Mod racing, period.
And I tell you, looking out there on the starting line, this could be the final round of any PDRA national event.
It could, and as tight as Pro Boost has gotten through the years, this could also be a first round matchup. In any like this class is so deeply and incredibly tight that as we go through all these races, stars begin to shine as it builds and as the year goes and all of that. Right now, Melanie Salemi coming into this All-Star race, you have to say has a little bit of an advantage over Kurt Stedding because of the season she has had leading up to this point. Melanie comes in number 2 in the championship standings. I'm not sure where Kurt is, but I know Melanie has a chance mathematically at a world championship. So you have to think the momentum rides a little bit with Buffalo, New York, Purple Rain Firebird.
You can never count out that P2 team, though, on the left-hand side. Todd Tutterow, the crew chief on that machine. So keep your eyes on the starting line. We'll see who can have the best reaction time and go A to B. I feel like this is a pretty even matchup, Ty.
It is, and we're going to see what they got for us right here. Kurt Stedding, Melanie Salemi, first two Pro Boost Summit Racing Equipment Pro Stars. Locks her down. Melanie with a reaction time advantage. She drives it off the retaining wall, and oh my goodness, 354.3, 211 miles per hour. If we were counting records, that would be the first leg of one. Kurt Stedding brings a 358 to the table, and it's not enough. Melanie Salemi, 354.3, 211 miles per hour, and what a matchup. Not only on the racetrack, but John Salemi and Todd Tutterow put on a show behind the laptops. 354, Melanie Salemi said, come get you some if you want this $15,000 in Pro Stars tonight.
I tell you what, John Salemi, you put a big show in front of him, a big check in front of him, and he becomes a different animal, Tyler. That car has struggled, I believe, to go down today. Right there, man.
And speaking of your big money animals, here comes Steve King. Also tuned by John Salemi.
Yep, Steve King over on the right-hand side out of Strasburg, Virginia, the Savage 2019 Corvette. Gene Pilot owns that hot rod. G-Force built it. Resolution Racing Services on board. And Randy Weatherford out of Danville, Virginia, left-hand side. The WS Construction Camaro with the Harts Charger has been the talk of the town here from mid-season on in the PDRA, as he has laid down some epic ETs and had the reaction times to match. We just saw Melanie go 54, Tyler. What do you think old Randy can do?
I didn't think a 54 was out there. So let's just put that out there. Mercy. Okay.
Yeah, that was big. That was a statement run, we like to call it.
That was a statement. All the chapters in the book, the table of contents, and the back and front cover.
Yes, sir.
That was all of it. On the first pair, I told you Pro Boost was going to bring us something, and they brought us something in the first stinking pair.
And I tell you, Weatherford can't, sit back and rely on the performance of his car, and he hasn't, which I've been impressed with. His reaction times have been better lately than I've ever seen with him. But Steve King, also very comfortable behind the wheel and can cut the tree down as well.
You speak on that when you know you have a good horse underneath you. You have confidence.
Comfort and confidence. So here we go. They start to head towards the top ball. Steve King right side. Randy Weatherford on the left. Pick one and ride.
6 now. Separate them up front. They are side by side. Steve King probably hurt one, but they're going to have to work on it. How about 357.7 for Steve King? Takes down Randy Weatherford. 358.4, 0.06 of a second. Separate them when they left the starting line. 020 to 026.
Man, you look at that in short time.
This is an absolute all-star barn burner shootout, and we have only run 6 stinking pairs of cars down the racetrack.
Weatherford was 912 to 60 foot. Steve King was 936, but Steve King's car came on in the back half, and he'll turn on the wind light. Our next pair fire up and pull through the water box. Johnny Camp and Joel Winsley. Winsley on the right-hand side out of Brooklyn, Michigan. The Liberty's Gears VP Race Fuels 2018 Camaro, and Johnny Camp left-hand side of the racetrack. Out of Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania, the 69 Camaro they call Hell's Bells. NGK spark plugs, Pro Charger, Pro Line, Camp Brothers Concrete, and Tapman Electric on board Camp's machine left side.
Joel Winsley right side, Brooklyn, Michigan. The 2018 model Camaro for Liberty's Gears and VP Racing Fuel. He made 2 very consistent runs in testing.
Yes.
And I think that has to worry Johnny Camp.
I agree.
It has to.
That's the best back-to-back pairs I've seen from Winsley in a long time. That thing was straight as a string and went A to B rapidly, we'll say.
Yes, it did.
So Camp knows what he's got sitting in the other side of the racetrack, but he also has Brandon Stroud, probably one of the best tuners in the game. So we'll see if Stroud has it loaded up. He's seen the ET so far. Did he make a little quick laptop change, or what are we going to see happen, Ty?
I rarely see Brandon run back to the laptop. Rarely.
Okay.
I feel like Brandon is one of those tuners that's like, I'm coming with the gun that I brought to the table, to the shootout, and I'm not gonna second guess myself. A lot of people will second guess themselves off of what somebody else does and get themselves in trouble based off of what, by chasing a number on the scoreboard that they've already seen. But these two drivers gonna put a centrifugal car into the next round. Will it be Johnny Camp or Joel Winsley Sr.? We're about to find out right about now. Camp is red, throws it away, and Joel Winsley will move on. How about 363, 206 miles per hour for Joel Winsley, his best run of the weekend thus far. 366, 364, and 363 for Joel Winsley, and he has been a force so far.
And you know, Tyler, we talked about it a little bit on the PDRA Live preview of this event, how a lot of times drivers that you generally don't expect, that have not shown you a reason to expect them to move forward in this event, just come out and lay down lap after lap. And Joel Winsley has proven that theory here this afternoon.
We talk about it all season long, how, you know, getting yourself to World Finals, being in contention for a World Championship. Every year, in nearly every class, somebody comes to World Finals, and it's like their breakout weekend.
Yeah, they show up and show out.
Every year. Last year, that might have been Jason Lee sitting beside Jason Harris in the final round last year. This is how we closed 2024 in Pro Boost. And how about kicking off World Finals weekend with the same matchup that we did last year to close?
It's like we're having a replay almost. Jason Lee, he'll be on the right-hand side out of Vernon, California, the Lard Machine. Reliance Custom Motorsports, Noonan Engineering, Paul Tech, PSI, and Liberty's Gears. Harris, your defending world champion, on the left-hand side of the racetrack out of Pittsboro, North Carolina. The Party Time 69 Camaro for Southern Diamond, SP Tools, Pro Charger, Braille Battery.
And I'm going to say this. Jason Harris has not looked Jason Harris-like so far this weekend. They have been struggling, and Jason Lee has looked as good as he ever has in that Coast Packing Company Lard Machine sitting on the right-hand side. Jason Lee, Jason Harris. My money's on Jason, big dog.
Solid bet.
Safe pick alert. Shout out to Dave Van Wagner. Final pair in Pro Boost. Jason Harris turns it on in a hurry. And Harris is 10th down red. Throws it away on the starting line. And check out Jason Lee. 3:59.7, his best run of the weekend thus far. Jason Harris makes his best run as well to go 360. But Jason Lee lights the lamp with electricity and will go to the semifinals.
So now we're going to make the move over to AD Competition Extreme Pro Stock, presented by Sonny's World Class Race Engines here this weekend at Virginia Motorsports Park. And Jeremy Huffman and Stephen Boone going to lead us off. A pair of Cobalts. Boone on the right-hand side out of Weaverville, North Carolina for Allen Competition Engines. Hoosier Tire, Mincer Motorsports, line-to-line coating, white safety equipment. Left side, and Jeremy Huffman out of Catawba, North Carolina. The 3V Performance, Lake Lookout Campground, Mike Huffman Enterprises, line-to-line coatings. Dellinger Fabrication Cobalt. Two guys, a past world champion in Stephen Boone and Jeremy Huffman on the left side, who picked up his first 660 man this season. But in testing earlier, Huffman looked strong, but so did Stephen Boone. So, I mean, this is another one of these toss-up matchups that you just can't pick a winner.
Yeah, Scotty, I mean, we've talked about it for weeks since these matchups, and well, not the matchups, but we knew what our roster was going to be coming into Pro Stars, of how tough these drivers are. This one kind of means a lot. Only 6 made the tow. So that means there's only 3 pair. That means there's 3 winners coming back. That means it's a bye to the final. Somebody is going to draw the lucky chip in the back of the lanes when they come back for round number 2, and we'll go to the finals on a bye. But that all doesn't matter if you don't win round 1. Jeremy Huffman, Stephen Boone, our first pair in category here at Extreme Pro Stock. They are driving them all over the racetrack. And check out Jeremy Huffman. How about 404 at 178 miles per hour for Huffman? Turns on a win light, had to drive around Stephen Boone. Had the reaction time advantage. Made a hard move to the left-hand side of the groove. Grabbed another gear, grabbed the steering wheel at the same time and said, we're going to the top end, but we're only going 410. Jeremy Huffman, first to punch his ticket to the to the semifinals. Yeah, that's right. There's 3 rounds. You only run 1. You're in the semis. Come on. We're a little bit off here.
It's okay. We only do this once a year, buddy. We'll get it right. Math's hard.
Yeah. Very difficult.
Next pair. Burnouts. Chris Powers on the right-hand side of the racetrack. The Sonny's world-class racing engine Chevrolet Camaro. And Jordan Enslin out of Lakeland, Florida. The 09 Mustang for Jay's Performance and Repair, Talmadge Towing, PJP Construction, and Dark Horse Coffee Company. And what a season it's been already for Jordan Enslin.
Man, it would be a really cool way for him to end the year with a big-time weekend here. You know, that we've talked about it. We talked about it all through July of starting the season here and just getting on the consistent ride of going up and up and up and getting better every time you came to the starting line, every time you turned loose the clutch pedal, every time you turned a wrench in the shop. That team got better from January to now October.
I agree 100%. And another thing that'll do for you, when you start running consistent low ETs and become a player in the category, instead of somebody pulling up next to you thinking, oh, I got this. Now you have a definite threat over there on the left-hand side of the racetrack. A past world champion on the right, but he's definitely got a contender there on the left-hand side.
Yeah, for sure. These two have battled it out a lot here recently. They made no bones about it whenever they drew chips and they saw that they had each other. They both looked at each other, smiled, and they might have been friendly outside, but they both knew on the inside, oh, man, we got another tough one. Second pair in category. Jordan Enslin left side. Defending world champ Chris Powers, wearing the number 1 on the window on the right side. They leave the starting line. Powers had reaction time advantage, but has trouble. Jordan Enslin, how about 4:03, 178 miles per hour, and I do believe that's a new career best for that team on the left-hand side of the racetrack. The young gun from Florida will make his mark into the semifinals.
You know, we talk about statement runs. Right there's one of them, 4:030. That car continues to get better each and every time they make a lap down the 660-foot race course. Watching it on the Flow replay, Jordan had to do a little bit of driving himself, but he made the trip A to B and did it really quick. 4:030. All right, we'll just take a moment here as our pusher quad retrieves Chris Powers out on the racing surface. In the pit area, we need MagnaFuel, back half Top Sportsman, MagnaFuel Elite Top Sportsman, and Larice Motorsports Insurance Elite Top Dragster. So both Top Sportsman and Elite Top Dragster. We need you to the lanes for your first round pairings, please. Racetrack cleared out, ready to go. We'll fire our next pair up, a pair of Ford Mustangs. A blue oval battle pulling through the water box, and it's going to be Alan Drinkwater out of Maitland, Florida on the right-hand side. The 08 Mustang for Seminole Paving. AED competition, Ram clutches, and Kazi Race engines. And Elijah Morton out of Swansboro, North Carolina, the Double Trouble 2019 Mustang. Allen competition engines, Larry Jeffers race cars, South State Development, Horizons East, and Carolina Utilities. All helping out Morton. These two also very well known for monster ETs. Elijah Morton's been #1 qualifier in an event already on tour this season. And Alan Drinkwater, one of the young guns in the category, younger guns in the category. A past world champion for flat out gaskets. He'll be on the right-hand side. Final adjustments being made by the crew members to shut the doors and tell the driver to get it done. Head towards the top bulb.
Lane swap before the pair. Does that mess with anybody? We're going to find out. Final pairing category. Elijah Morton, your possible soon-to-be 2025 class champion, Alan Drinkwater. Neither one of them wanted to let go of the clutch pedal. Win light, Alan Drinkwater, 404, takes down Elijah Morton's 407. I think neither one of them wanted to let go of the clutch pedal. As I was told one time in bracket racing, quit trying to cuddle it and let go. Neither one of them wanted to do that, but Alan Drinkwater gets to the finish line first and puts his name on the semifinal sheet for Extreme Pro Stock.
So our next category, firing to life here underneath the tower. That's going to be PDRA Pro 632 presented by PTC. Brian Claus and Jeff Melnick going to kick us off in category. Claus on the left side of the racetrack. Oh, they're swapping lanes. So they swap lanes on us. Brian Claus will be on the right-hand side of the racetrack. Out of Pasadena, Maryland, the Superior Speed and Custom 06 Cavalier owned by Calvin Starcher. Injector maintenance helping out on that machine. And Jeff Melnick out of Hubbard, Ohio, the Greenbrier Excavating PTP Mickey Thompson 2020 Camaro with a twist. The faux Marrow left side. Ford power plant in between the frame rails of Melnick's Camaro.
I'm sorry, guys. I stopped to answer a question, and I'll let Scotty kind of run rogue on the mic with his faux Marrow. You've waited all year to say that.
But that's cool. Yeah, I mean,
I'll give you that at the All-Star race, okay?
I appreciate it, bud.
Faux Marrow.
The faux Marrow. I like it.
You're going to have Chevrolet guys and Ford guys ready to absolutely run you out of town.
Yeah, well, they've had all sorts of different combinations.
Hey.
They have run a Chevrolet in that car.
Hey, Alan O'Brien said it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
it turns on wind lights.
That's right. That's right. I think that thing was AMC powered at one time. It was Chevrolet powered. Now it's Ford powered.
Is there anything left?
Volkswagen, I guess.
They're going to put a Hemi in it?
Yeah. We got a few more options. So Melnick will be on the left-hand side. Brian Claus on the right.
Jeff Melnick, Brian Claus. I'm not sure what happened right there, but nobody sounded good leaving the starting line. And Jeff Melnick goes through the finish line with smoke trailing behind him. 426 turns on a wind light. Brian Claus had trouble leaving the starting line and was not able to make the trip. So they will go check the racetrack behind Jeff Melnick. When he lifted off the pedal, you see the smoke on the instant replay at home on FloRacing. So that was not pretty.
We could hear it up here in race control. It just did not sound good.
Watching the instant replay back, it looked like both drivers hit the wheelie bars really hard leaving the starting line, unloaded the rear tires a little bit, and gave it the old tire chattery noise. And that's what we heard up here.
It's no good.
No.
And track spotters out there making sure we're good to go and getting thumbs up so far. So our next pair, fire to life. Walt Lanigan and Gary Hood will make their way towards the water box here at VMP, and it's another lane swap.
So we used to call it a twofer. Now we're calling it a lane swap, apparently, because that's all we've said here recently. Well, lane swap, lane swap,
I mean,
lane swap.
That's what they're doing. What are you going to do? Gary Hood on the left-hand side, the 63 split-window Corvette out of Severn, Maryland. They call that machine the Inspector for Straight Line Media. And Walt Lanigan on the right-hand side Out of Savannah, Georgia, the 2010 GTO. Tyler, when you look at the class of 632, Walt Lanigan, one of the standouts in the category. I mean, it's almost like he's a driver for hire, you know, and the man gets the job done. There's a reason why he gets rides in cars.
Yeah, he's been driving this car for now 2 different owners, driving it now for David Cook and that team. Jamie Miller on board with that program as well. And we talk about numerous times of how drivers hit a stride, and you really feel like, oh man, that driver's really turned it on. Man, when you have a good horse that you're sitting in, you just know, like, all right, I can trust my car. Now all I got to do is go up there and make a rip.
You mentioned it earlier. It's the confidence in your team, your car, and your performance. So if you're comfortable and confident, you're going to get it done. And I feel like Walt Lanigan has found his home behind the steering wheel of that machine.
Yes, he has. And I can tell you right now, you cannot overlook Gary Hood, especially after that first pair where they both shook the tires.
And here we go, and Gary Hood tattoos the Christmas tree. To the top end they're going to go, but the wind light's going to shine for Walt Lanigan. 412 with the 9. Walt was dead late.
All of the amber was on when Walter Lanigan let go, and he saw a lot of that 63 Corvette until the GTO grabbed enough horsepower to drive around. Walt Lanigan, a monstrous 412 here in the opening round.
It needed every bit of it, like you like to say. Gary Hood was 004 letting go. Did his job, but looking back on flow now, you can see the Corvette do a little wiggle, and that probably knocked some ET off of it. So, Kyle Salmon, left side of the racetrack. At Marine City, Michigan, the Mats Electric 03 Cavalier at the Pat Musey horsepower was supposed to face off against Nicole Liberty. Nicole came up, did the chip draw, went back, and found a problem, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was really excited to see this matchup. But, I mean, they've both been running really well. They ran beside each other in testing, and they both went 416. So I was kind of like, when you saw the chip draw, I was like, all right, that matchup right there to me is probably the best in the group. So for me, as a race fan, I'm kind of a little disappointed. But at the same time, I hate that Nicole ran into issues because she's had such a good car.
She's really turned it on here recently. I believe has a #1 qualifier, maybe?
I do believe so, if not very close to it.
She's the whole category as a whole has just elevated their performances. It's been fun to watch.
It has, for sure. Now we'll see a solo shot for Kyle Salmon. Get to hear the Pat Musey Racing engines, 632 cubic inch mill. Run through all the gears. See how fast he can get from point A.
28 letting go. He'll go through the traps at a 4.16.6, 166 miles an hour.
That's exactly to the 1,000th of a second what it ran in testing earlier.
I think Nicole went a 4.16.5, if I remember right.
Car's good.
Yeah, I'd say Kyle Salmon could probably put a dial in on that machine. So an odd number of cars made the tow here, and Jason Ventura drew the chip and has the single here in the opening round. Ventura out of Pompano Beach, Florida, the Gladiator X 1970 Camaro for Procom ELS. Wild looking machine for Ventura, and he's coming off an event on the PDRA Tour where he had his career best numbers. Fun to watch and see if Jason Ventura can carry the momentum that he had at Galat Motorsports Park at our last stop moving forward. HRE providing the horsepower underneath the hood scoop. It's going to be on the 70 Camaro at Pompano Beach. Garrett double-stepped it, 441 at 169 for Jason Ventura. So he'll come back around for the semifinal round. PDRA Pro 632. Presented by PTC. Just a housekeeping note here for all drivers in competition this evening. Sun's going down. That means the overhead lights will start to illuminate, and your race car needs to have a tail light on when you make the lap. So all racers in competition, make sure that your tail light is illuminated when you make your lap. So a quick broom and groom on the racing surface. Looks like we're going to bring out our Liberty's Gears Pro Street presented by Mincer Motorsports.
Redline oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Redline oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
This is what you save your lunch money for. Welcome to the High Limit Room.
So Tyler, next out on the racing surface is going to be our Liberty's Gears Pro Street machines, presented by Mincer Motorsports, and we like to call this class the baby Shark Tank because Pro Boost is the Shark Tank, one of the toughest classes in all of drag racing. But Pro Street quickly earning the reputation of being right there with them.
Yeah, this class has really taken off over the last couple of years and just become one of the most exciting classes not only to watch, but also to compete in. You got 8 drivers that are sitting in the staging lanes right now, and really gonna just. You have to think they're nerved up. You know, they know that this is a big time all-star race. It's a big weekend. A lot of cars on property for the class. You're the top 8 that raced with the series between the last 2 seasons, and got yourself in this all-star race.
Yeah, most of the fellas that are sitting back there are accustomed to turning on win lights. Well, Only 4 of them going to do it right here, so
Yeah.
somebody's going to be a little disappointed after first round, I feel.
Most definitely. And our first pair out is Richard Reagan and Joel Winsley Jr., and both of those drivers know how to get it done in pressure situations.
Yeah, and Reagan has had a lot of success here at Virginia Motorsports Park, but I'm telling you right now, I don't know what's changed in the Winsley camp, but they got 2 bad, fast hot rods sitting over there. So Reagan's going to have his hands full.
He is.
With Winsley Jr.
There is no easy lap. That theme is continuing. There's no easy lap in category. There's just not. I mean, there's just so many tough competitors that are in this class. And we've seen the class progress in elapsed time and consistency and everything else as we've gone through the year.
And across the combinations as well, the turbo cars, the centrifugal cars, the screw cars, the roots cars, they all seem, nitrous cars, all seem to be right there together. You know, you said it, Tyler, and it didn't really dawn on me when you said it, but we like to say 2 for a lot because it's fun.
It is.
But today's slogan of choice is the lane swap.
No. If anybody is a Friends fan, you watch the show Friends, everybody gets to the tunnel and then a crew guy yells, "Pivot! Pivot!" Because they don't like it.
And I don't get it because I feel like the lanes are just about as equal as they've ever been.
I think it's more of a mental game than
Mind
it is
game?
anything.
Yeah. So here we go. Richard Reagan, left-hand side of the racetrack out of Rutledge, Tennessee. The Reagan Excavating 91 Mustang for Tim's Garage. And Joel Winsley Jr. out of Dearborn, Michigan, the 2016 Camaro for Liberty's Gears. So Richard Reagan, part of a 2-car team with Scott Kincaid. And they like to hike the front end up, about, carry it way out there and move that weight around like you talk about getting the crankshaft up.
Right now, I don't know if you want the crankshaft up too much. You got horsepower, you got a tight racetrack, and if that 33-10-5 sitting on the back of these cars grabs a hold of it, doesn't slip, you better have all your chassis in line of where you want it, because if not, it'll point you to the sky.
All eyes out on the starting line. Richard Reagan the left side, Joe Winsley Jr. on the right. Ford versus Chevrolet. They'll start making the move to the top bulb on the Christmas tree.
Screw blown Hemi left side. Centrifugal Hemi right side. Ford versus Chevrolet. Somebody going to the semifinal. Winsley reaction time advantage. Reagan is on the back bumper, hangs onto it, drives around him on the rear tires and turns on a wind light. How about 390 with a 2 and does most of it on 2 stinking wheels as Tim Kincaid walks off the start line with a big smile on his face. Richard Reagan.
Wow.
Will turn on a wind light.
We just talked about hanging the front hoops, buddy, and my goodness, were they out there?
It's stuck.
Yeah, we get the privilege up here in race control to watch it again on the Flow replay, and man, did he get close to that center line before he reeled her back in.
We were about 6 inches away from this qualification, but Bubba held on to it, and wow, what a first pair pro streak. We tell you, this is one of the most exciting classes in drag racing, and you just saw it. Oh, by the way, Joe Winsley Jr. went 394, and we didn't even stink and talk about it.
Sorry, we're a little caught up with old Richard Reagan's wheel stand there. But our next pair are already completing their burnouts and headed back to the starting line. And Ethan Stedding on the left-hand side, your defending world champion in the category and trying hard not to take that #1 off the window this season. P2 Contracting, Redline Oil, YO Motorsports, Tie Drive, and NGK Spark Plugs. Tyler, who's on the right-hand side?
Right-hand side, you got Dan Norris, the Brighton, Michigan 43-year-old facility manager for PSI Valve Springs, the 2022 model Ford Mustang. Back in a roots blown. Hemi in between the frame rails. Battle of the roots cars. Only 2 in category this season, and they are going to sit side by side. Here in round #1 of Pro Stars, as Ron Green has made the thrash to make it into the lane. Scott Kincaid with a big card of sportsmanship moved to the last pair to try and let his fellow competitor get here because he didn't want a competition by. And Ron Green and that team were humping it through the staging lanes to get here on time. We will have 4 complete pairs in Ethan Stedding and Dan Norris. Oh, baby. What you two got? Norris is red. Stedding going to go to the semis, and how about 392? Back-to-back 92s for your defending world champion, your #1 seed coming into Summit Pro Stars here this evening. Ethan Stedding on to the semis, 392.
So cool matchup, a little nitrous on supercharger crime, as Bill Riddle and Blake Denton going to be the next pair to face off. Bill Riddle, past world champion in the category. Left-hand side of the racetrack out of Howell, Michigan for Corrigan Race Fuels, his 1989 Camaro. Mickey Thompson Tires, Cigar City Garage, SSI Superchargers, Redline Oil, and Motorsports Unlimited on board the Riddle machine. Right side, talk a little bit about that one, Tyler.
24-year-old electrician. Blake Denton sits behind the wheel of Bonnie, 69 model Chevrolet Camaro, campaigning this season in memory of Lizzie Music. Fredericksburg, Virginia-based 69 model Chevrolet Camaro comes in, one of the mid-pack cars in Pro Stars. But his main focus this weekend is try to get back to #1 in the championship standings, go after a world championship. We talked about it on PDRA Live. You paid attention and listened to it. Thank you. If you did, you missed out. But we talked about how Pro Stars leading off this weekend can make or break your momentum, can make or break your confidence. You have to start this as hot as you can to give you yourself as a driver the utmost confidence going into qualifying tomorrow and eliminations on Saturday and Sunday here at the World Finals. It all starts right now in round #1. Bill Riddle left side, a past world champion, sits beside Blake Denton, your #2 man in the championship standings. These two are going to see who goes to the semis in Pro Stars.
Riddle first to stage, waiting on Denton. Here we go, 3-5, reaction time advantage. Goes to the Corrigan machine, left side to the top end. It's gonna be Blake Denton. How about a 390 with the 0, Tyler?
Needed every bit of that Pat Musey horsepower. 008 margin of victory at the finish line. Blake Denton was asleep when the Christmas tree let go. Bill Riddle 036 cut him in half. But Blake Denton with the horsepower needed every bit of that Jeff Pierce tune-up to get all the way to the top end first by only 8 thousandths of a second.
So our final pair in category, and I really like this matchup, bud. Ron Green, Scott Kincaid, and as you mentioned, Kincaid, the sportsman, waited for Ron. He had I don't know what went wrong, but I know we had to go out there and pick up some pieces and parts on his last test run. But Ron Green on the right-hand side out of Chesterfield, Virginia, the game-changer Firebird for Green Brothers, Quick Fuel and Green's Towing. And Tyler, tell us a little bit more about Scott Kincaid.
Scott Kincaid, the Thornhill, Tennessee-based 69 model Chevrolet, has been just trying to find that tune-up since he kind of, I'm not going to say fell off the horse, but when he came in, it was wind light, wind light, wind light, wind light. He really didn't know that. I thought he might have had a wind light in the bag, like in the trunk or something. He just threw it out when he went by. Because every time that car went down the racetrack, it was turning on a wind light. But now that team is really starting to find its stride to get that car where it needs to be to run at the top of the sheet here in Pro Street. They just saw their teammate go all the way, almost on 2 wheels,
yeah, right,
to the semifinals. But now you've got a monster on the right-hand side in Ron Green.
Well, absolutely. Ron's performance here in the latter half of this season, they've done a lot of testing and really lined out the game changer. But Kincaid, I think, as you touched on a little bit there, Tyler, I think for 5 races in a row, nobody could beat him. He won 5 in a row. I think that, I don't know if that's a PDRA record or not, but
If it's not, we're going to say it is right now.
yeah, that's right.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So Kincaid left side, Ron Green on the right. Pretty big matchup right here.
It is. This will be the matchup that closes out Pro Street as Super Street sits at the ready line, waiting their turn. Right now, who's going to get it done? Kincaid wheels in the air, hangs on to it, and not enough. How about Ron Green? 389. We got our hands full on the top end of the racetrack. I think, yep, we saved it. Ron Green chutes came out. It might have picked the rear of the car up, but he has saved the piece. Kept it off the retaining wall and off of Scott Kincaid. Those 2 drivers went side by side, and Ron Green had all of the steering wheel when the parachutes came out right past the scoreboards. And oh, by the way, the race was absolutely epic. 389.6 beats a 392.5, and it's only 0.005 of a second margin of victory at the finish line. If you're watching at home on FloRacing, side by side, picture perfect runs out of 2 silver hot rods. Green's car, whenever he got the chutes out, got a lot of air underneath it, and it picked the back of the car up, as you can see right there, and he absolutely drove the wheels off that thing to keep it out of the fence and off of Scott Kincaid. As Ron Green will move on to the round of 4.
So a quick check out there on the racing surface to make sure there's no fluid or anything. And we're getting ready to fire off with PDRA Super Street. Let me get my stuff together here. PDRA Super Street, presented by Brian's Heating and Cooling. So Tyler, we just talked about the 33-10-5s. Now we bring out an even smaller tire in Super Street.
Yep, 28-10-5 tire sitting on the back of these drivers. It's Carson Perry and Dan Wenstein will be the next pair, or the first pair. I'll get it right on it. Sorry, it's okay. It's only Thursday. Give us a break.
So Carson Perry left side out of Sims, North Carolina. Team Greenbrier, the 2000 Camaro. And on the right-hand side, a past world champion in Dan Wenstein out of La Plata, Maryland. The Red Velvet 1991 Mustang, Essex Motorsports, Pro Charger, Atomizer, ATI, Mincer Motorsports, and UPR Products, helping out the defending world champion in the category. Carson Perry has looked very good behind the wheel of this 2000 Camaro left side, but Dan Wenstein has really turned it up as of late. You can see his crew chief out there, Tim Essex. We want to wish Tim a speedy recovery. These 2 will head towards the top bulbs. Nitrous left side, Pro Charger on the right, and Dan Wenstein. Here we go. Reaction time advantage, there isn't one. 1,000 separates him on the top end. It's gonna be Carson Perry. And look at that scoreboard, a 450 with the 7 at 157 miles an hour. Dan Wenstein knocks his side down too.
We have waited all season long for that Greenbrier car to make the lap that we have said, man, that car looks good, man, that car looks good. Well, there it is. How about Carson Perry, 450? And oh yeah, Dan Wenstein, 1 thou behind on reaction time, goes 457, and it's like, hey guys, don't forget about me.
So, when we did the chip draw earlier, I think the crowd got a big chuckle out of this one right here, because these 2 have matched up probably more than any 2 cars on the property.
Yep, number 1 and number 2. In the championship point standings, they've done this a lot of times all throughout the season. And right now, a big money Pro Stars win brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment is on the line.
Connor McGee left side out of Pelion, South Carolina. The 90 Mustang for Brian's Heating and Cooling. And Austin Vincent on the right-hand side of the racetrack out of Central City, Kentucky. The Vincent Performance 88 Mustang for Drummond Race Design, Nitrous Express, and Davis Technologies. These 2 have sat side by side multiple times throughout the PDRA Tour this season, and it's about a 50-50 shot, I think, on wins.
It is. This one right here could be, whew, we thought that 50 was impressive. There might be more out there.
Well, I'm telling you what,
these two.
Can you imagine sitting underneath the tunnel and you're like, okay, we'll let these two guys get out of the way and then it's going to be our turn, and then you see the scoreboards light up with what they did, thinking, oh boy, one of us is going to have to face off against that next round.
Yeah, no doubt. Pretty cool matchup. Really cool story between these two. Both young gun drivers in category, second generation drivers. Their dads, crew chief, did both of these cars, and both used to drive these cars. So really cool matchup when you look at the family aspect on both sides of the racetrack. One from South Carolina, Connor McGee on the left side, and Austin Vincent right side out of Central City, Kentucky. Both of them, small block power. We're gonna see who goes on to the semifinals here in Super Street.
Both of them into the top ball. McGee ready to go. Waiting on Austin, here we go.
Big backfire out of Austin Vincent. Connor McGee shook the tire, pedaled, and goes to a 497 as Austin Vincent just had to sit and watch as it backfired as soon as he went to the two-step.
Yeah, unfortunate, and you can tell them two young guns get amped up when they have to run each other.
And they both left the starting line within 1,000th of a second. 0.35 and 0.36 on reaction times. Austin Vincent, as soon as he let go of the trans brake button, it kaboomed. As my man Rock Bates would say, it pooted. And that's not what you want when it comes down to race cars. If you watch it back at home on FloRacing, Connor McGee had his absolute hands full, and he had to be thinking, gather it up and get going. Like, he might be having trouble too. But Austin was having a little bit more trouble and not able to make it down the racetrack. So we'll push the Mustang back, and our last car in category, Matt Shallow, will be on a ladder by the odd number of cars here this weekend.
So a quick check on the racing surface there from where Austin Vincent's car. Flamed out, we'll say. And Matt Shallow will fire up his hot rod out of Virginia Beach. So Shallow brings his machine to life here in the tunnel at Virginia Motorsports Park. The 69 Camaro for Canarium Race Engines, 1320 Fab, Tyndall's Tools, and Menser Motorsports. Shallow started the season in a different mount. He had a 2000 Camaro. And unfortunately, at our first stop at Virginia Motorsports Park, he went to launch the car, had some fluid coming out from underneath of it, and it turned directly into the wall. They decided it was too much to try to repair that machine, and he went out and bought this and debuted it when we stopped at Maryland International Raceway. And what a debut it was. Straight as a string, went quite a few rounds. Finds himself on the bye run here in the opening round, due to the chip draw and car count. Show heads towards the top bulb. Another quick purge of the nitrous system. Absolutely not the results he was looking for. Hard to say whether or not he had that thing loaded for bear. But all the same, going to move on to the next round here in the Summit Racing Equipment PDRA Pro Stars. We'll change the computer over and do a little bracket racing with our MagnaFuel Top Sportsman back half. Ron Biondo and Joe Robisek going to lead us off. Look at that, Ty. We got us a little flyover action. It's good stuff. Ron Biondo, left-hand side of the racetrack at Macedonia, Ohio. The TIF transmissions, 94 Lumina. Nesbitt power plant between the frame rails. Abruzzi converters, APD fuel systems, and R2R suspension. And Joe Robisek on the right-hand side out of Niceville, Florida, the big stuff TPM 68 Camaro from Nazir Enterprises and Premier Landscape. Biondo with the purge of the nitrous system left side. 420 the dial. Robisek on the right-hand side. The 68 Camaro. 415 the dial for his machine. Neither driver with the stellar reaction time, but it's going to go to Joe Robisek. 38 letting go, good one. Biondo lets go 41 and is 3 thou under, taking 10 thou at the finish line. Jeff Melnick next down on the right-hand side out of Hubbard, Ohio, the 02 Avenger. We dialed in at a 410. And Ronnie Proctor on the left-hand side. The 09 Mustang at a Hedgeville, West Virginia for Proctor Enterprises, Albert Racing Engines, Chewy's Performance, Sonic's Gears, Hoosier Tire. Ronnie dials in at a 416. The exotic fab machine of Jeff Melnick. Always a tough competitor. When you pull up next to him, you know you got to be on your game. But I got to tell you, Ronnie Proctor has been hot here lately. Late round appearances for that blue Ford. So 416 for Proctor, 410 for Melnick on the right-hand side. Reaction time for Proctor, and he'll put it one above and turn on the lamp. Melnick is 25 red and dead 8, no good.
Good matchup right here with two tough Virginia runners. Mike Alexander Jr., left-hand side, the Mechanicsville, Virginia-based Grinch. 63 model Corvette for Walking Tall Garage, and Alexander Bacco sits beside the starter man.
Mr. Mark Payne, the House of Payne, 06 Cavalier, Holly EFI, Mickey Thompson's FTI, Rogers Automotive, Precision Turbo, and Mosier Engineering for the Little Debbie Engineer. And got to spend a little time with him talking about those Christmas trees last night, buddy.
They're coming, bud.
Yes.
And we do not joke that is actually a Little Debbie Engineer on the right-hand side.
He sure is.
Gave us the inside scoop on the Christmas tree cakes.
Yes, sir. They're coming soon to a store near you.
Brought to you by Mark Payne, right-hand side.
That's right. Twin turbo LS platform for Payne on the right-hand side. And this is a heads-up run. 409 to dial in across both scoreboards. This is going to be a good one.
So both drivers staging it up, dialed in 409. Reaction time advantage. Both of them driving them a little bit all over the racetrack. And the wind light shines for Payne as Mike Alexander Jr. breaks out and Mark Payne finds the brake pedal. Alexander 406.4 on the 409 dial-in was 26 thousandths of a second too soon. Mark Payne realized this doesn't look good and hit the brake pedal to get behind, put it 415.0, also dialed in 409s. Mark Payne will return when 4 cars come back. It's your final pair in category. So your final pair in category, Mark Reese, left-hand side, driver of North Dinwiddie, Virginia, sits beside Nick Maloney. Maloney, a man that's coming in this weekend trying to win 2 world championships, also trying to win 2 Summit Pro Stars trophies. Time advantage over Maloney. Win light goes Reese. 007 take 21 to be 3 above. Maloney missed it a touch to be 33 and put it 2 above. Driver showed up ready to go on that one. Mark Reese moves on to the semis.
So now we're going to make the jump over to Larice Motorsports Insurance Elite Top Dragster, presented by Greenbrier. Paving and excavating our first pair out. Boy, we talked about it on PDRA Live, Tyler. What an all-star lineup. It's not just our Pro Stars event, but the quality and the number of championships behind the drivers in these elite categories is just amazing.
Really is. You know, we talk about this is the best of the best, and we've said it since this whole deal started. When you come into this one, this is the best of the best.
So Steve Furr on the right-hand side out of Harrisburg, North Carolina, the Red Rocket 2013 American for House of Payne, Hoosier, VP Race Fuels, 375. And look at this, Tyler, a heads-up run right off the bat. Brian Anderson, left side out of Carson, Virginia. His 2023 race track will be dialed in at a 375 as well. Brian Anderson is 15 red. Steve Furr, 007 and 8 total. Get down, bud.
In case you wondered, Steve Furr is good at drag racing. Brian Anderson knew it. Was up on the wheel, 015 red, put it dead 3 as well. But Steve Furr, come get you some, 8 total.
Our next pair, Tyler, is going to be Lindsey Coleman on the left-hand side. For Coleman Automotive, his 2017 American chassis. For Platinum Coast Property, Cousins Towing, and Donnie and Julie Wilson. He'll be dialed in at a 372. Right side, Alan O'Brien for Greenbrier Excavating, the 2023 Race Tech. Barry Allen Race Engines, PTP Tuning, Mickey Thompson Tires, and Weaver's Automotive. O'Brien with a quad turbo AMC in between the frame rails. Pretty conventional setup.
Yeah.
Dials in at a 376.
Very conventional. We watched it earlier in the day when testing was ongoing. Allen's got out there, had the front wheels in the air to about 150 feet. And I was like, oh, baby, this thing is moving.
Another side note about his testing, he was 00 on reaction time on both test passes.
Will get away with one. 049 and 1 above. Coleman's going to be sick whenever he sees that time slip. 019 red, 373.6 was there, just had to turn it green.
Mike Kopko next out on the left-hand side. The Pennsylvania-based Steel City Rocket dials in at a 379, and he'll try to run down Russ Whitlock on the right-hand side out of Mocksville, North Carolina. The 08 Race Tech for Hoosier Tire and Sunrise Tire dials in at a 382. Mike Kopko and Russ Whitlock. Whitlock right side, 382, 379 for Kopko on the left. 3-stage bulbs on. And it's a red light for Russ Whitlock and issues for Mike Kopko, who lets go perfect. Doesn't really matter. Russ Whitlock is red, and Mike Kopko's going to the next round.
We talk about these style races, winner take all purses. Big time, limited fields, you've earned your way in the all-star races, and pressure gets to you at times. An Elite Top Dragster, we've seen 3 pair and 3 red lights.
It looks like we might have an issue here in the tunnel at VMP as Kyle Harris is altered, not firing. He is on the clock. Supposed to face off against Kellen Farmer, Team Race Tech, sitting in the water box. And there may be some saving grace, Tyler, as it appears that Mike Kopko is pulled off to the side down on the top end. So this may give Kyle Harris the time that he needs to get his machine cleaned up. Or started up, I should say, not cleaned up, but fired up.
Amber Denton, it is Pro Stars. We're going to talk about World Finals for the rest of the weekend, but right now it is all about big money and big bragging rights. Your first time competing in Pro Stars and Pro Nitrous, and you got that first round win.
Yeah, it feels good. When we did chip draw, we were talking, you know, the class is just stout right now. No matter who you draw, everyone's a tough competitor. So going into first round, up against Brian Schrader, he's a great driver and everything. So I was happy to get that win and hope we can carry it on this night.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Freddie Scriba, the champ down here, but we're not talking about anything that has to do with points. The Pro Stars is super fun. It's about bragging rights. It's about big money, and you just brought your A game and wanted a whole shot to somebody who's up to take the championship from you.
It was close. It was a good race. We were neck and neck the whole way, so everybody got a good show of that one.
Now tell me what it's like as you're coming into this. It's the last race of the season. Getting a little nostalgic yet?
I mean, we struggled a little bit. We won the MIR race this year, which is a lot of fun, but we struggled a little bit with the car, but we're making some progress. We tested last weekend, so hopefully it's coming around a little bit.
All right, well, good luck. Couple more.
Thank you.
Scotty's favorite Alter.
That's right.
Fired up and ready to go.
Your defending world champion, Tyler. One thing I noticed about Kyle Harris this weekend is his dialing. He normally runs mid 380s. He is dialed in at a 371 here this weekend in the Pro Stars.
That's 40. I didn't notice it until you said that.
That's big, man. That's short wheelbase and all that power.
That's as big as Big David Whedon walking up to the starting line to go watch this one.
I don't think there's anything that big, bud.
That's a big human.
That's a big fella. So Kellen Farmer on the right-hand side out of Graham, North Carolina, Team Race Tech. He'll be dialed in at a 380, and Kyle Harris made the short haul from Burford, Ontario, Canada. For DFS Projects and Harquip, 371 the dial for the Altered.
Final pair in the lead, top Dragster. Reaction time advantage goes to Harris. It's all over the racetrack and turns on a win light by a lot. Yeah. Kellen Farmer runs into issues and says, see ya. Kyle Harris, 009 and 4 above, turns on a win light. Elite Top Sportsman rolls in now, and this matchup right here, I think, might have been favorite out of every matchup that we had in chip draw. Tim Lawrence and Dwayne Silence.
Talk about two drivers that have been absolutely red hot on towards these two right here in their category. Dwayne Silence on the right-hand side out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. His 68 Camaro is going to be dialed in at a 385 for Silence Service Center. And Tim Lawrence on the left-hand side. The Princeton, West Virginia-based 2013 Camaro for Bell Trucking and Pro Highwall Mining. Dials in at a 391. We say it often and always, Tyler, the baddest door cars on the planet with dial-ins race here at the PDRA. And a 391 to a 385 in our opening pair proves just that. So Lawrence, full stage, waiting on Dwayne Silence, to the hottest drivers in category, go head-to-head right here.
Tim Lawrence leaves the starting line first. Win light goes Lawrence. Double breakout race. Dwayne Silence follows him through by 25 thousandths of a second. Tim Lawrence in a double breakout win. Goes 388.9 on the 391 dial. Dwayne Silence. Go back to the drawing board. Try to get ready to chase a world championship this weekend. Jamie Fowler and Randy Perkinson. Next two, both dial 374. Hello.
Yeah, Fowler on the left-hand side, the pimpin' and limpin' 69 Chevrolet Camaro for PB Fleet, LAT Oils, John Sarvi and Advanced Prosthetics, and Randy Perkinson on the right-hand side, the 67 Mustang out of South Chesterfield, Virginia, and as Tyler said, both dial-ins of 374. My goodness.
They showed up to party.
Well, you know, earlier today, it wasn't hot by any means, and the wind was blowing. I mean, it was a pretty good day here. But, you know, earlier today, it wasn't hot by any means, and the wind was blowing. I mean, it was a pretty good day here. But, you know, earlier today, it wasn't hot by any means, and the wind was blowing. I mean, it was pretty good day here. But, you can't. I have to say that the conditions have changed some since they did their time runs earlier.
They have. The air's a lot crisper right now. Well, like you say, there's not a huge difference, or there's not a lot of comparisons to it. But right now, you have to feel like I don't even know where the pendulum swing lays right now. Both these cars and drivers are really, really good, know what they're doing, have really solid programs that are pretty lined out. You know, you don't have any kind of advantage, I don't think, but man, 374 dial on both of them. You got a nitrous car on the left side for Fowler and Perkinson with the centrifugal procharger between the front frame rails. Down tubes, whatever you want to call them. I e-braked it right there.
Yeah, it's okay, buddy.
And
It's the Thursday. That Thursday always gets us.
I'm telling you, this is why you don't give excitement on Thursday, because the announcer team absolutely have polished it so far.
Yeah, we're lost.
But we look down from the drone on FloRacing, the breast cancer awareness pink starting line. Out here at Virginia Motorsports Park is two of the best in the business. And elite top sportsmen are going to sit beside each other for just a couple of more seconds. One's going to win, one's going to lose. Who going to do it to who here on Thursday night at Virginia Motorsports Park?
Three fires. Reaction time advantage going to go to Perkinson on the right-hand side, but the win light goes to Jamie Fowler. Something went wrong with that Pro-Charge Mustang.
Think it might have broke a transmission and didn't go into high gear because Randy was out and gone. When it went to make the 2-3, it said no more. Jamie Fowler will move on.
You know, when you talked about your marquee matchup being the first pair that went down, this would be mine, because you've got your defending world champion in Glenn Butcher, left-hand side of the racetrack for Albert Race Engines, Abruzzi Trans, Hoosier Tire, Pack Spring, and Butcher Demolition, and your current points leader in Elite Top Sportsman on the right-hand side, and Brian LaFlamme out of Mooresville, North Carolina, the big stuff, TPM 67 Mustang. YO Motorsports, Noonan Race Engineering, and Maxima Oil on board that 67 Mustang. The dial-ins, identical, 370 across the scoreboards. This one screams marquee matchup as they back up and head to the starting line. So you can see there on the drone shot on FloRacing, Tyler, Butcher going to let you know I'm number one. It's right there.
Yeah.
It's huge on the roof of that 69 Camaro left side, but LaFlamme making a statement here this season, leading the point standings.
Yeah, LaFlamme comes in trying to chase a world championship this weekend. Glenn Butcher has a mathematical shot to keep that big stinking number one on the roof of that 69 model Chevrolet. The best thing he can do right now is take down Brian LaFlamme here in the opening round of Pro Stars. Try to get in his head just a little bit. Two of the best in the business. Throw it down. One down. Separate him off the starting line. Butcher has issues. LaFlamme has the win light. 389.2 will turn on a win light as Butcher. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it shook and then he got back into the pedal or what, but it was not happy. Over on the left-hand side of the racetrack for the Ohio-based 69 Camaro. Brian LaFlamme moves on.
And our final pair in category, Fires to Life. Final pair in category. Completing their burnout process. Bruce Thrift on the right-hand side. Brian Tiff on the left side. Tiff out of Middleburg Heights, Ohio for Schween Motorsports, the Schween Machine. 2021 Corvette dials in at a 375. And Bruce Thrift been doing this a long time out of Waycross, Georgia. The color be gone. 08 GTO for chassis engineering and TRC roofing. He'll be dialed in out of 379.
We talked about it one day. Not sure how this even came up. I don't know if Bruce Thrift has ever missed a PDRA race.
Really?
I don't know. But in the time that I've been here, which I think is now 7 years, a long time, I don't know, 7, 8, something like that. I can't remember a PDRA Top Sportsman race without Bruce Thrift on the qualifying sheet.
That's an impressive feat if that's accurate. So 375 for Brian Tiff left side. Bruce Thrift on the right at a 379. Here we go. Oh no, reaction time advantage was for Brian Tiff, but you saw him go into some sort of trouble. 512 on the 375 dial, not going to get it done. Bruce Thrift was 75, letting go. Goes one above, 380 on the 79 for the dub.
That will round out Elite Top Sportsman as we'll go into our Junior Dragster categories. Appears Top Junior is first, Top Junior, then Pro Junior, then back half Top Dragster will close out round number 1, and Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost. You are on standby at this time. Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost will be getting them on the ground and ready to go. We are trying to get you back on the racetrack within 25 minutes. So get them ready to go. Pro Nitrous and Pro Boost, you are now on standby.
So Classic Graphics, Top Junior Dragsters. Presented by Philadelphia Racing Products, Kylie Varner and Braden Creighton. 894 dialing for Kylie Varner. Braden Creighton, 890 the dial. I got a special guest announcer. She used to pilot these machines at one time.
My only claim to fame. Apparently.
So welcome in, Courtney.
Thanks, guys.
We're excited to have you here at the Summit Racing Equipment Pro Stars, and man, what a first round we've seen so far.
Yeah, I was at the top end, had a privilege of seeing the other side of all of that, the excited Melanie Salemi, the mad Kurt Stedding. It was pretty intense, but I gotta say this junior class here, the Pro Stars thing is tough to get into, especially for this. So I think it's worth saying that these 8 kids in each of these classes are probably the toughest people on property.
Oh, I agree 100%. I mean, I think we had our largest car count in Pro Junior, which you'll see just here in a little bit, at, I believe it was Maryland. We had over 60 entries trying to make a 32-car field. That's insane.
You made the cut.
So Kylie Varner, left side, 894. Braden Creighton on the right-hand side, 890 the dial.
Red light start for Kylie, 22 on the bad side of that. And the automatic win goes to Braden Creighton. He goes an 898.6 on that 890 dial, and although it doesn't matter, old Kylie went an 898.2 on that 894, but again, red light start. Win goes to Braden.
So our next pair that'll head to the starting line, Jaden Hogan on the left-hand side out of Dudley, North Carolina for Hogan Motorsports. The 2014 Mike Boss chassis with O'Mara Realty on board. Dials in at 890. Will O'Brien on the right-hand side out of Lewisburg, West Virginia. Team Greenbrier. They're very deep here in the PDRA. Just about in every category we have. 891, the dial in for Will O'Brien. And these younger kids, Courtney, we don't stress it enough. They have to qualify by reaction time. And there's some days you wake up and you're on it, right? You're feeling it. You go out there and you cut the tree down. There's some days that just don't pan out for you.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for having to do that in qualifying as well, because some people like to work their way up to it, but these kids have to show up ready to go.
So here we go, staged up, ready to go.
Oh, big starting line advantage for Jaden, 0-14, and we will just let Will have that one as it started with a 1. But will it work out on the top end of the racetrack? And it does. 9 flat on an 890 dial in, and over there on the right side for Will, 9 flat on that 891. But again, starting line advantage for Jaden gets it done.
And it's pretty cool watching these younger kids. They go after the Christmas tree. I mean, there's no letting up, nothing of that nature. So Knox Schween's going to be next out on the left-hand side in the Schween machine. 04 half scale out of Medina, Ohio. 890 the down. This will be heads up. James Beatty III on the right-hand side out of Baltimore, Maryland for ATI Performance Products and Computech. Dials in out of 890 as well. And this is a fun matchup. Beatty, your defending world champion on the right-hand side. Knox Schween, I think once he qualifies tomorrow, and this is all unofficial, of course, because I don't have the points in front of me, but I believe he will be your champion this season. So pretty big matchup.
Yeah, a passing of the torch, potentially.
Right. So the dads make their final adjustments, and these two machines will start to head towards the top bulb.
Another red light start. James Beatty goes 41 red, but Knox was ready. Knox was 002 on the reaction timer, and an 891 with a 5. That's a pretty good package right there, man.
Yeah, 17 total here in the opening round.
But all, they're just kids, right?
Right. Wyatt Piercy next out on the left-hand side out of Salisbury, North Carolina for Premier Concrete Solutions. Tony Wilson hauling, Hickory Enclosed Trailers. He'll be dialed in at 1193. And McKenna Hollis here on the right-hand side out of Williamsville, New York for Weller's Machine, Hoosier Racing Tires, Larice Motorsports Insurance. Dials in at 899.
Great to see all these kids, as we're looking at the screen up here, have a full run-up of sponsors.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I got to ask, since you have some experience behind the wheel, I never did Junior Dragsters. They weren't around when I was a kid. So these are the younger kids, and then of course we bring out the older kids and the pro juniors. Where do you think you feel the most pressure, when you're younger like this or when you're older?
I felt it when I was older, because the older you got, the more you had to prove what you were doing out here. And as a young kid, maybe it's because I had an older sister, but you just kind of went out here and showed your stuff out here. And as we see McKenna right there, way too early leaving, and gives Wyatt Piercy the win there. Wyatt goes 12-10 on his 1193 dial in, and a 9 flat on an 899 with that red light for McKenna. But I think the younger kids just have no gall, right? Like, there's nothing to lose. They're out here just having fun. And the older you get, the more you define yourself as a race car driver, and you start to know all the other kids out here, so they're going to give you hell for having a 50 light or something, you know? And
I think you're right, because, you know, the older you get as a kid and you start to mature a little bit, the much more things go through your mind. And as a kid, you got one job. Go up there and let her go. I mean, sometimes it's going to be red. You're going to be 002 sometimes, and it's fun to watch, I think.
I think it relies on the parent as well. If, you know, you're setting your kid to just go out there and leg it and hit the dial in, but the older you get, the more you want to start bracket racing. You know, you got to start thinking about, oh, was I late on the reaction timer, so I've got to go down there and kill a little bit more. So I think, not to compare this to Little League, but I think the parents may have something to do with it too.
So now we make the jump into the older kids. The Paragon Pro Juniors, presented by Philadelphia Racing Products, and Spencer McGee and Ashton Hollis going to lead us off.
McGee in that 2018 half scale. Man, the McGees have been around forever. I raced against them when we were kids. It's wild to see that. I guess I'm just going to say it. I'm old enough to have multi-generational junior drag racers. This is wild, but it's the longevity of what this sport does and the foundation that it gives this whole entire sport.
And Hollis here on the right-hand side out of Williamsville, New York for Race Star Wheels, FTI, Wellers, Hoosier. 790 the index that they have to run on. So this one, I feel, leans a little bit harder on Dad, because when it comes to qualifying, the top 32 have to be the closest to that 7.90. In multiple races throughout the season, we see a perfect ET.
Oh, this one definitely relies on Dad or Mom or older sister or whoever's in charge of that. And it's fun to watch these kids, if they happen to not get in because of it, but they were 12 or 15 on the tree, and all of a sudden when you graduate into this category, you get to point the finger the other way.
Yeah, right. But again, you'll watch these older kids just slay down the tree too, so.
Out for Dad sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, go down and drive the other end.
All right, Spencer and Ashton all staged up, ready to go. 001 red for Ashton. That is heartbreaking, especially with Spencer McGee going 66 on the tree as they were heads up right there. But Spencer McGee runs it out the door. 793 with a 6. And man, what a package that could have been, Ashton. I'm sorry, I just poured salt on the wound, but that was almost fantastic.
Yeah, 791.9. That's rough. That's horrible, actually. But our next pair ready to go. Ryan Harris and Alyssa Tillman. Harris on the left side from Burford, Ontario, Canada for DFS Projects, Tri-County Sandblasting. And a Tillman on the right-hand side from nearby Henrico, Virginia. Hubble Motorsports and Race Star Wheels.
Speaking of 001 red and the PDRA, Braden Davis, who was a star out here last weekend, went 001 red in the finals at the NHRA race, and I saw him right after, and he said, I'd rather be 50 red.
Yeah, 001, that one cuts a little bit. So again, 790, the index that Dad's trying to tune these machines to, or moms, or whoever the crew members are. And it's not an easy thing to do with wind and you know, cooler temperatures and everything else throughout the race day. On hot days, you know, when we're up on the mountain at Bristol, a lot of it changes.
Both green here, but a nice advantage for Alyssa. She was 013. Ryan Harris was 68. Let's see what now the older kids are down here working the stripe, and I can hear it. 795 for Alyssa on that 790. 793 for Ryan on that 790. Again, gets it down on the starting line.
Yeah, whole shot win right there for Tillman. Tillman has a lot of laps here as they are local to Virginia Motorsports Park. And I don't know if that plays into the equation, but maybe the more notes you have when the weather gets cooler like this may help you out. So this stood out as my marquee matchup in the category. Number 1 and 2 in the World Championship standings. This was a chip draw, and they drew the same number. So Alyssa Raven on the left-hand side out of Florence, South Carolina, the pink bullet half scale. And Mackenzie Alexander here on the right-hand side, the Little Grinch for FMJ and Son Construction out of Mechanicsville, Virginia. Mackenzie has led the point standings all season long up until our last stop at Galop Motorsports Park.
That's why we run them all year long. Got the pleasure of seeing Alyssa down there at the NHRA race also, and getting to introduce her coming out on stage. It was a little bit full circle for me and my love for the PDRA.
That's cool stuff for sure. Raven left side, Alexander on the right. And one more quick fact, Courtney. There was 5 girls in the category and only 3 boys. Girl power.
It's ladies' night. Let's see which one can get it done here. This is a monster matchup. Listen, they were close on the tree, but neither one of them are going to like it. We'll just leave it at that and see what happens at the stripe. The win goes to Alyssa Raven in that pink bullet. She goes 793.7 on that 790 index. 794.9 for Mackenzie. They were only separated by 5 thousandths of the tree.
In the finish line stripe, 7 thousandths of a second. So a very good drag race between.
You talked to me about some adults that can do that.
Yeah, right. So our final pairing category, Emma Crane and Sophie Cooper. Crane on the left side out of Dunkirk, Maryland, a 2019 half scale. Cooper on the right-hand side out of Charlestown, West Virginia, the Midnight Rider half scale for Proctor Enterprises, Brown Line Construction, and West Customs.
I may be crazy, but nope, I was wrong. I was going to say it sounded like one lost power. I saw some parents throw some arms up in the air, but I think that was maybe on the timeliness. Another one right there, separated by 8 thousandths. Emma with the 8 thousandths advantage on the starting line. Can she hang on to it? She does not. Sophie Cooper goes 792 with a 9 on that 790 dial, and Emma slows down to a 794.7, giving it back.
Well, Courtney, thank you for joining me here in the booth for our Junior Dragster program.
Junior Dragsters.
Some of, like you said, some of the toughest competition on race day, and just in qualifying as well. I mean, it's just, it's intense a lot of times for those Junior Dragster drivers and parents.
And every sanctioning body in the world is now run by former junior kids, winning world champions. So we'll be seeing all these kids back out here.
All right, well, thanks again.
Red line oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Unleash the power of performance with the Edelbrock Group. For over 85 years, our legendary brands have been trusted by automotive enthusiasts around the world. From street performance to racing, our innovative solutions, engineering, and testing deliver unmatched power, precision, and reliability. Proudly manufactured in our 7 facilities across the U.S., we stand by the quality of our craftsmanship. The Edelbrock Group, where passion meets performance.
This is what you save your lunch money for. Welcome to the High Limit Room.
Red line oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry, going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
We have a treat here. Now, this is going to end up better for Tommy, so we'll get to you in a second here. But Buddy Perkinson, we've got to give credit where credit's due. You were 001 on the reaction time and ran a career best, but still couldn't get the old man.
Hey, and I was looking over at 332. I was like, wait a minute, I don't see him. I was like, uh-oh, here comes the nose. But no, that's good. I mean, we've done a lot of work to this thing. Jeff and Tommy himself, he's been involved a lot with this car, so couldn't thank those guys enough. I certainly am not smart enough to make it go 64, so, you know. But, hey, what do? You know, 001, and what was the finish line, 7th out?
Yep.
Yeah, so. But, I mean, hey, he's leading the points for a reason, so if I can be 7th out behind him, I take that as a win.
So now rumor on the street is that even his kid said he wasn't going to beat you. So you just having this like persona coming into Pro Stars has to make you feel good.
We take Ryan to Chuck E. Cheese like every weekend, you know. I said, no, it's good. Great family. I mean, Buddy and his whole family, they're just great people. So, I mean, I didn't think he would go out there and try to 001 me. I mean, that's what kind of people are there around here? But, you know, but no, it's awesome. Good run. I mean, for my team, I went through and looked at Buddy's and I was like, yeah, all right. I was cheering. I'm not sure. I think I cheered for him first, then for me. But no, it's cool. It's look, we all sat up there when we drew chips, and I'm like, there's nothing easy here. You know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh, I got Buddy, and I'm like, well,
when I saw